What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a live show, for kind of packed live show because a lot of things happened in the last, or like didn't not happen, but a lot of things came out. Very confusing and interesting news came out, and also the season kind of starts tomorrow, or this week, the week that's coming. The season kicks off, so that's what we're gonna talk about. But with me, as always, not as always on a Sunday, but this Sunday, Norbert and Malik. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I don't know if anyone is watching cycling or Tour de France, but I was watching. It was a really good stage, so that's what I was doing, and I'm happy that there were no Euros because, yeah.
Yeah, I've just been chilling. It's a very quiet Sunday, so
Yeah, same. Did nothing today, nothing useful. So we'll talk about football. There's no football on, like Norbert said. Excuse me. I thought that was good, especially after some of the games that have been on lately. I think we suffered enough for a year. So I think it will be back on Wednesday, right? No, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday.
yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
No idea.
So it gives it a couple of days. Actually, preseason starts tomorrow. Thiago Motta just arrived. We will talk about that a little bit before we actually talk about the latest transfer news links, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about preseason really quickly because it kicks off. You know, now he's here. He just arrived. Giovanni Albanese is following him to the toilet, going off his updates. But I think everybody's kind of. I don't know. Maybe somebody say my excitement for next season is unmatched. People are excited, but they're also curious. I think more so than excited. Like I'm excited that it's something new because we did need something new, but I'm more curious to see where this actually is going. You know, everything looks good everything can look good on paper. You know what Motta did at Bologna, and so on, so on. But now it actually kind of kicks off, and I think everybody's like curious to see how is this gonna pan out. But it starts tomorrow, preseason, probably just fitness test with let's say 12 players. Which one, like 9, won't even be at the club anymore when the season kicks, or shouldn't be at the club anymore. But it's here, and are you excited, Norbert? Just forget about transfers for a sec. Just in general,
Yes,
the season is
I'm super
kicking off.
excited. Isn't it starting on like Wednesday or something, like
Yeah,
10th?
I think, yeah, you know, but from tomorrow, like Motta's in town. I saw
Yeah,
apparently a couple of players could be in to do their fitness test already, so
yeah.
it depends.
You know what is funny? That Motta will do his medical test as well with the new coaching staff, and I don't understand what is this like. That what kind of medical test? Like if they are healthy, like do they have COVID or something? Or I don't understand.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm excited because now that players had their Euros, and they played there, they're gonna have some rest. And in the meantime, I'm pretty sure a good bunch of next gen players will be called up, and I think some of them has a chance to stay in the squad. I'm not saying, not even at all, that they would start or anything, but maybe some of them can be good squad players. So I'm excited about that, especially for Savona. As you all guys know, I'm in love with that dude. I was watching quite a lot of next gen games, and he's really stable in the back. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So the players that he doesn't need, they will show up as well to train, or how does that work? Because it's going to be a little awkward, no?
It's usually so in preseason. Like nobody, like you cannot sell all the
Yeah,
players you don't want, so it's just normal, I think. But yeah, the players that are coming are players that are not going to be here for a fact. Like some are just loanees and whatever, but that's always the
yeah, but
case.
like Hoysen and Sule, I'm excited for because I want Mota to see that they are valuable. That's what I'm hoping for, to be honest, because we really, it's just too much players to change. Like how many? We have like 8 more that we need to sell or kick out or something, and we're gonna sign as much. It's insane. So I hope some of them will stay. But obviously Kostic and Arthur and all these guys they should be gone. Dashio as well.
Yeah.
I think Rugani is a mistake because he's cheap, and why sell him for 5 million? It doesn't make any sense. But all the rest can go, that they mentioned. Yeah, so I'm excited. I want to see the next gen guys, and I want Motta to find some gems, or like not gems because we already know who they are or what they are capable of. But yeah, I want him to use some of the guys next season.
Yeah, I'm excited for next season as well. Generally, just a breath of fresh air. You kind of don't know what to expect, but at the same time, you expect some sort of improvement. There surely has to be an improvement, especially over the last 3 years. But yeah, Motta's in town. Preseason already starts. The summer's flown by, and yeah, maybe he likes one or two players from the next gen, and he calls them up to the first team, and we'll see more of them next season.
Before, like, people in the chat are talking about transfers, we'll get that, like the names that being linked in a second. um I want to ask you guys because the last 2 days, maybe because it has been quiet, or especially today, um you saw a lot of conversations, on social media among fans saying that actually the start of the transfer window, excuse me, is not been good. We're signing players we don't need. We're signing the wrong profiles. We're spending too much money on unneeded players, so on, so on. I don't know which boat you guys are on, so I'll ask you. Do you think the start of the transfer window, not so much the outgoings, but especially the signings, Douglas, Di Gregorio, and probably also Turam, as of now, are not what we needed to spend our money on?
So I would say if and I see my internet speed is dropping. I apologize for that. So for me, it would be perfect if the outgoing is McKennie in the Douglas deal, because Giuntoli asked Motta, okay, who do you want? You can choose between Koopmeiners, or you can choose Calafiori. So he chose Koopmeiners. So it's not like we potentially didn't have the money or la la la. We didn't want to spend, I don't know, 50 plus million on him, and Motta wanted Koopmeiners more. So, you know, um, Giuntoli did what he had to do. He had the agreement with the player for months now at this point, and there was nothing else to do. And Calafiori wasn't really keen on moving to Juventus. Same, not like Locatelli was a few years back, when he only wanted Juve. Calafiori wasn't like this. So yeah. Other than that, I think we are moving. It's just it feels a little slow, but honestly, the transfer market only opened 7 days ago. So yeah, outgoings. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna speed that up. But yeah, in terms of incoming players, I'm really really glad that they are here. Um, and yeah, for me, it's close to perfect, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm on the same boat as Norbert. The Douglas Luiz deal did surprise me. I didn't think we'd get him. It was a pleasant surprise. I'm happy we got him, in fact. And Thuram as well. What we've been saying for the last 5 years was the biggest issue in this team is the lack of quality in midfield. And with those two and the eventual addition of Koopmeiners, you add a substantial amount of quality. You have goals from midfield, which Douglas Luiz and Koopmeiners bring, and you have technical ability and flair, I guess, with Turam, which obviously we've lacked for quite some time. But yeah, the weakest point of the team is being addressed pretty quickly, so I'm happy with that. It's obviously a shame to miss out on Calafiori, but as Norbert said, there was an agreement with him and there was an agreement with Koopmeiners, and evidently you can't get both. So the club made a decision, and looks like it's going to be Koopmeiners. So, and I'm very certain there are alternatives to Calafiori, and we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah, I think the conversations part, the moment we didn't get Calafiori, that people are like, actually, what we're doing so far is not good. I think that's what it basically kind of happened right now, or like that's the feeling I have basically, that the moment um, Calafiori, the Calafiori deal just collapsed, or actually never took place to begin with. Apparently, I think people are now more surprised that, or they're thinking about that actually we needed him more so than a Douglas Luiz or a Thuram, which I agree in terms of like pure quality. We need to address the midfield. I think the club has its main targets, excuse me, and they have the funds to get their main targets, or like they have a fund to get one of the main targets or two of the main targets, and they're doing the Douglas Luiz deal, the Thuram deal as potential deals they were trying to do at the end of the summer. Obviously, not signing a player like Douglas Luiz, but that was more so an opportunity, I think, where they were like, okay, we'll take it. You know, I think Thuram was always going to be a target, but I thought maybe more so at the end of the summer, where it was like, okay, Rabiot is definitely leaving. Let's get Thuram in. I just think Giuntoli got kind of sick and tired of waiting on Rabiot a bit and said, I'm going to get Thuram. You know, if you want to stay, good, I guess, but keep in mind, we have a replacement. So playing time, it is what it is right now. So I think that's kind of what the quote-unquote issue is right now, that Calafiori didn't join, and everybody imagined that Calafiori was going to sign at one point, me included, you know, and then if it doesn't happen, it didn't happen, people go back and be like, oh, you wasted time on Douglas Luiz and Thuram and so on, so on. But like Norbert said, and maybe it's a fake report, maybe, I don't know, but if Giuntoli sat down with Thiago Motta and said, okay, we have, I'm going to say something, we have 60 million euros in cash. That's what we have. You can get Koopmeiners, hopefully not for 60, or you get Calafiori, you know. And Giuntoli. And Motta said, even though I coach Calafiori, I want Koopmeiners. Even though I disagree that he's worth 60 million euros or whatever, even 50, I think that's too much, you know. I think it's way too much for the player like Koopmeiners. I will sit back and I will say, you do you, you know. That's your decision. You need to make it work. Like, when we signed Motta, I said, okay, you need to try to give him what he wants and you need to help him out. If that's what you want, and as a club you agree and you think that's sustainable, whatever, good. But now it's up to you guys to kind of make it work. Maybe the criticism is that we're not signing special players, if that makes any sense, you know, because, and I agree with that. I think you can find players like Koopmeiners, you know, with his characteristics. I think it's difficult to find a player like Calafiori with his characteristics. But then again, people have dream signings. They want that 20-year-old playing for, name the team. You know what I mean? You know, and it's not realistic. That's the players what we want, and I think a lot of people are disappointed about that. I think Giuntoli just looked at the situation with the squad. I said, okay, we have some young players who we do like, but in general, the quality and ready now is just completely not there. And I think I agree with that part, that you need some ready now players, you know. Otherwise, you're not really going to go. And Khalid, we are not talking about Calafiori. We always discuss other players on this channel. It's not a waste of time because the Calafiori thing is a big point. He was a main target with a player with his characteristics. You don't get him. You need to have a plan B, you know, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, that's kind of the situation right now, you know. It's week 1 of the transfer window, and it's just waiting on the main targets. Now, going back to Calafiori, I'm sorry, Khaled, but that's that's the point. You missed out on Calafiori. The question is, what now? The media tried to throw in Buongiorno, which was completely BS. We never made an offer for Buongiorno of 40+ million. That's just not the case, because if that's the case, you just make that extra effort and you offer the money for Calafiori. So throw that away. I don't care who confirms that. That cannot be true. Like, just logical thinking, that's just impossible. Kiwior was the easy link. Actually, an hour after the Calafiori news broke, Corriere dello Sport was like that. It was there saying, you can get Kiwior on loan. And I was like, yeah, easy news. But we kind of knew that. But now the news comes out of Todibo, who, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought it was Alfredo Padula who said he was kind of offered to the club, and the club said no, not really. But that's now the news story that he is a potential target, plan A according to Fabiano Della Valle, and plan B is Kiwior. He wants to join Juve. He's kind of waiting on Juve. The first one to seal the Thuram deal. Then they will get back for Todibo. Asking price around 40 million euros. The club is kind of convinced they can lower it. Like they were convinced to lower the Thuram price, which didn't happen, by the way. I will let you guys go first on Todibo, because maybe you've seen more of him lately than I have. But yeah, what do you think, Norbert? Todibo as a replacement? Forget about the price right now, just as a potential replacement for not getting Calafiori.
Yeah, so as much as I haven't seen him, if I'm completely honest, I seen him not sure when. But yeah, he's not bad. He has similar qualities as Calafiori. Maybe he passes better, and Calafiori is better by just take on the midfield and just run. But I wouldn't mind him, but it depends on the price. So I have to talk about the price, and I think there is no way we would pay more than like 25 for him. There is zero chance that we're gonna pay 40 to 45. So we have, and plus also I think he's right-footed, right? So I don't think we need him. Kiwior is perfect, left-footed, 15 to 20 million. He played with Motta before, so yeah. If it's 40, I really don't want him. 40 plus, no.
Yeah,
No way.
same. I'm more inclined for Kiwior, as crazy as that may sound to some people. But yeah, first off, yeah, Todibo is a ball-playing centre back, which is something we really need. But he's not really a like-for-like replacement for Calafiori, in the sense that Calafiori plays on the left side, and he's excellent at driving forward and progressing with the ball. I think Kiwior has those qualities, so which is why I'm more in favor of Kiwior, and plus he would definitely be a way cheaper option than Todibo. So yeah, and I think also Teyat would be another because I don't know, I like Kamale. I mean, you're Belgian, so like.
No, if we sign Tiad, I will. I don't know. Like I will buy a Danilo jersey and wrap Danilo at that point. I really would. If we waste
Yeah,
money
but
on
the point I
Tiad,
was trying to
I'll
make was
cry.
Teyat is like of that mold of Calafiori, Kiwior,
He can't
left-sided centre
defend.
back.
He just can't. He's not a good defender, Tiad. Like with Calafiori, it's like it's all good. He's good on the ball, but he can actually defend. That's still the key thing for me. Like you need to be a good defender. Like you can be tacky on the ball. If you stink at defending, you cannot play in my backline. Like I don't want to see that. And with Tiad, I don't think he's a good defender. But I see your point. On Todibo, I'm not the biggest Todibo fan. And I've watched him more at Schalke. Maybe that's way too long, so maybe it's not fair. I didn't watch Nice last season. Season before I did, but it was for Thuram. And I never sat there and be like, oh, that's it. I saw a lot of people saying also, oh, everybody wants Jadon Sancho, but he's not called up. Well, here we are. That doesn't really matter. I looked at the stats because I agree. I don't think he's similar to Calafiori, because Calafiori can drive the ball to it like in a different way. Like it's completely different. I think Todibo, if you look at his stats, again, I needed to look at his stats because I've not watched him play last season. He's just good in possession. Like he's good in possession, but not as Calafiori.
He's passing better.
Yeah, his passing is good, whatever. I don't think it's an issue that he's right-footed. I don't think that's the biggest issue. Will he fit Bremer? I think Calafiori will fit Bremer well. Better. Excuse me. I have nothing against Todibo. I said it. If you give me the option Todibo, excuse me, or Kiwior, I will pick Todibo. And I watch Kiwior play more, but I know that Kiwior is more of a playing football where it's like what you see is what you get, and that's it. And what you get, I think it's decent. It's nothing special. I think you don't need to listen to Arsenal fans because actually Arsenal fans do rate him. A lot of them, they're perfectly fine with Kiwior. It's just that to take that next step, I don't think he has that in him. If I'm being completely honest, and I like him, and yeah, he played for Thiago Motta, and he's also okay on the ball. He's a good defender. I think he is. He improved a lot, so that's credit to him, I guess. Um, but I agree with Norbert that if the price tag is 40 million, just wrap it up. Like if the price tag is 40 million and you can get Kiwior on loan with an option for 18, which is also unbelievable. I don't think that's true because Arsenal paid 18 for him, I think it is. They're not going to sell with a loss. You're just not going to do that. They will rather keep them. They will rather keep Kiwior than selling with a loss.
Yeah,
So if the
but
option
it's not
is,
a loss. It's
yeah,
not a
you know
loss
what I
because
mean. But
how the
English
books
clubs are
were.
not doing that.
Yeah,
English clubs are just,
yeah,
especially when they're selling to Juve, they're not selling to Bologna back or Spezia back. They're selling to Juve. They're not gonna do us a favor, nor should they. But if let's say it's 20 and 40, we all know what the club is gonna do. Like we just know what the club is gonna do, you know. So the story is good, I guess. I think it will be a good option. I think it will be. It will. And I'm not the biggest fan, but I know how much people rate him. And I know if you look at his stats, they're actually fantastic. Like, yeah, that is a signing you should be making. But 40 million euros, I don't think the club is going to spend that. Because if we spend 40 million euros on Todibo, I think the entire world will be sitting there and be like, surely you could have made a better effort and go to 50 plus what was it, 50 plus one bonus for Calafiori, and just you would have gotten Calafiori, no? So it looks weird. The setup of the deal um, looks different. Like the setup of the deal looks weird. It's like, okay, for 10 million euros, you just kind of threw away your main target, which is not going to happen. Now, I saw people saying that Nice won 25 of somebody. I saw a report saying 25. There's no chance. They're asking for 25 for Thuram, who's out of contract next season. They're not going to
yeah.
ask 25 for Todibo. So as good as it potentially sounds, I think, I don't know, with Calafiori, like he offered something different, also receiving the ball high up the pitch, without, really carrying the ball, just popping up, that was also key. He just had that in him to show up in certain positions, linking up top, and maybe that's too much. That's overdoing it. Like maybe you don't really need that, I don't know. I don't know what it is basically. But yeah, I compared the stats because somebody said, hey, they're actually similar. And again, maybe it's unfair for me because I've watched more at Schalke, and that's, what is it, 4 or 5 years ago now at Schalke or something. Maybe it's not fair to do so. But if you look at his stats, he is similar in a certain way to Calafiori. It's just I think Calafiori has, off the ball, movement as well. Defensively, nothing against Todibo if you look at it, but again, the price tag, it's gonna be Kiwior. If the option is you can have both or you can have one of them, and you see the price tags, I think we all know what the club is gonna do. And the moment we sell Kiwior, I think all hell will break loose among the fan base. It will happen.
Yeah, I'm on the side that we have money right now because we know that we're gonna sell and get rid of players, but that we're not going to sign a 40 million plus defender and Koopmeiners as well. There is no way.
Yeah, and on top of that, signing other areas like a Sancho loan plus obligation.
Yeah,
That doesn't. Where's all this money coming from? So
To be honest, at the towards the end of the season, we were all sitting here saying, "Oh man, we're gonna need to sell one big player," and apparently, it's gonna be Roma. It's gonna be Chiesa,
wow.
but it's not the big money we were assuming. So, like, you're selling the quote unquote big player we were all talking about, but we're not getting the big money we were all assuming we were getting. So it's a very, like I said, we have money. Besides selling, we would have just cash, for some cash. But we still need to sell a lot, and there's still
Yeah.
tons of question marks. I saw a report today. No, I will keep that for a sec. We're still like there's still a lot of work to be done. So I'm not sure what the next move is. It's probably gonna wrap up Turam. I'm assuming. And then it's Koopmeiners, I guess. But I think with the Koopmeiners, I said it last week. I think I said you can just not focus on one deal, Koopmeiners, and let all the rest, because that's a deal. If you're gonna get that done, it's not gonna take 1 or 2 days. It's probably gonna take 1 to 3 weeks or something. So in the meantime, you just need to keep it moving, and that's the issue right now. Because going on to Chiesa, I saw, I need to lie. Who said that? That he is. I need to look it up because I don't want to misquote the source. But actually, the report is that Chiesa wants to take his time, and Giuntoli
Yeah.
wants to kind of speed it up because I think it's Di Marzio. I think it was Di Marzio last evening. I'm not sure. Chiesa's basically taking his time. Does he want Roma because he's waiting on an offer from outside of Italy, which has not arrived. And Giuntoli is kind of not nervous, but he's like, okay, we need to speed it up because I need to know how much I can get for you so I can move on. And then Padula linked that a little bit with Sancho. There's an agreement, but they told him, just wait, be patient because we actually need to get Chiesa out. Do you think that could become an issue right now? I wanted to call you Giuntoli, Norbert, that the players who want to move out kind of are taking their time a little bit. Like McKennie, there's no news. Kostic, there's no news.
Yeah.
Milik, there's no real news. Chiesa's waiting. Will that hinder the moves we need to make for our key players?
Yes, I think Chiesa is an issue. We need to sell him as soon as possible.
Okay.
So that's why he said, even if it's 15 million or whatever, 15 plus bonus, we need to get rid of him.
I love how harsh you are, Norbert, like these days,
Yeah, but it is what it is,
Kind of
we need to get rid of someone, and so far Chiesa looks like the first candidate, and yeah.
Somebody's saying Douglas Luiz, Di Gregorio, Thuram, Koopmeiners, Todibo, Bianconeri, Sancho, Morata. Give yours a 10 out of 10 transfer market. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, thankfully Morata is going to Milan or staying at Atletico Madrid, so
I'm not so sure about that, to be honest. Someone's saying trusting someone who hasn't done anything at the club, not going to do that. That's a fair point, but at this moment in time, that's kind of the only option we have. Somehow trusting they're making the right decisions. We have no other choice right now. Like there's no previous for these guys, so it's just trust. And then again, I said it, 2 years, I will kind of make my mind up where this is kind of heading, according to me, obviously. There's no way you will pay 40 million for a center back. Well, they did for Bremer, but again, these are new guys, so I don't know if I saw Nico Shira saying we were willing to go up to 30 million for Calafiori. Then I'm assuming we're not going to pay 40 million for Todibo. Like when you have a defender who actually became what he is because of the coach you brought in, and you're not willing to pay over your own budget, basically, you said, then you're just not going to do that for a player that plays for Nice. It's just what it is, basically. But the Chiesa one is going to be interesting. It's just, I think the club Giuntoli set the bar at a point where it's like, this is the money I need to make it look decent, on the books, and for me to have something to play with, and that's what I want. I think he made that very clear because also Di Marzio said agreeing with Roma, no issue. So I think he already spoke with Roma, and said, this is what I need. Can you give me that? Yes, then figure it out with the player and just call me back. That's basically what it is. I think the fee sounds ridiculous, but it's the bare minimum, kind of what Giuntoli wants, to make it look decent, like I said, on the books, have some cash, and move it up quickly, like smooth, like get it done really quickly. But again, it's Chiesa who's like, I'm gonna take my time. Will Bayer make an offer for me? Will a Premier League club make an offer for me? And then I'll think about it. But I don't blame him, by the way. Like if I'm going from Juve, and we have been horrible, by the way, I get it. But if my next move is Roma, with no respect, no disrespect, actually no
No
respect if he
respect to
goes
Roma.
to Chiesa. If Chiesa goes to Roma, I kind of lose respect for him a little bit because if he has no other options, fine. But I don't know. Like you shouldn't be making that move. I'm sorry. You played Champions League football.
Step
What is it?
back.
Once? Is it once he played Champions League football? Under Pirlo. No, not under. Yeah, yeah. And the season afterwards with Allegri. So 2 seasons. Oh, he was injured. Played against
No,
Chelsea.
three. He played Champions League 3 of the 4 seasons.
Oh yeah, three. Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, but like missing out on Champions League and then going to a club with no Champions League with the high possibility you'll probably not get Champions League again. It's possible. Then I don't know, man. Like, and I think he's sitting there thinking about it and being like, okay, this is it. Like, if I can join Roma, and this might be it for me. Like, I will never probably get the opportunity to go to a team that plays Champions League football consistently, tries to play for like winning stuff or whatever. So put me on the map. So he needs to think that. He needs to think about it, and he's doing that. The issue for Giuntoli is like he's taking his time apparently.
It's a
So
big problem. He's fucking with us. It's a big problem at this point because at the end we might need to sell someone who we didn't want. Like maybe we want to take a look at Huysen, or maybe we want to take a look at Zule, but maybe we need to sell because Chiesa is waiting for an offer that will never come.
But if
Unfortunately.
that offer
So
never
yeah,
comes, he
it's
will join Roma. He will join Roma. And I think the club
yeah,
knows we
but
will
we're
get that
wasting
money from
time.
Roma. I think the club knows we're
Yeah,
getting that money from Roma, even if it happens the 1st of August. I think he knows we're going to get that money. But you can never be for sure. Like, that's probably it. You can never be for sure. Like, uh, uh, he,
And you never know, Roma might want to pursue other targets if it's taking
yeah, I
this
saw
time.
the reports. I'm like, that's bluffing. I'm not sure which are
Yeah,
are the
definitely.
targets.
That's a possibility still, nevertheless.
Yeah, you cannot. You can play bluff poker with Chiesa, but who are you? Yeah, like being Roma, who are you gonna get? Not being Chiesa.
Yeah,
So
that's a good.
it's it's gonna be interesting, especially with the other names as well. I'm expecting more news from this week. I think this week it kind of kicks off because everybody's kind of out of the Euros. Like there's four
yeah.
teams left. That will kind of sort itself out. But like I think clubs like Fenerbahce, like those clubs are looking sniffing around. Like players like Milik will get more interest because teams are trying to actually get their teams ready for next season, which is gonna kick off very very soon. Actually, in almost a month in some leagues. So it will speed up. It will speed up, but some players are gonna be an issue. Like we know that. McKennie, Chiesa in a different way because Chiesa's thinking, okay, what decisions should I be making? McKennie, I have absolutely no idea what he's thinking. He said no to Aston Villa, so I'm not sure where he's going from here. Nor crack here. He's gone at one point. But yeah, like Milik, Kostic, De Sciglio for some reason, Rugani potentially. It's gonna be very busy. Let me read a few comments and then we will talk about Cancelo. I was not forgetting about that, by the way. I was just keeping
Yeah,
it for the last topic. Bremer and Calafiori would have been perfect duo. If Nice are willing to accept a buy option, I can see it being like 45 million plus price. That's even more than that I don't think the club's going to pay. So they only paid that much for Bremer because we just sold the league for around 65 million. And we had a board who had absolutely no control of the money. They were just spending it. Juve really don't need any more center backs. They have already got Tirugani, Bremer, Diallo, and even Huysen for
Oh,
now. Well, they definitely need
Yeah, but
center
what
backs if you read that
sounds
list.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a horrible personnel.
again, you can
Bremer
have.
is the only one that stands out.
We had a
we have the
big
numbers, but
we had a
wow.
big squad last season. That's like saying we don't need players. We have a big squad. Half of them are crap. Like Gatti. you would probably never convince me. Rugani is a backup. Bremer has a lease clause next season. Diallo, nobody has a clue if he's good. And Huijsen, we've seen play for Roma. A lot of potential, but also still a lot of mistakes. So we definitely need center backs. Like, it's poor. Like, the quality is extremely poor. You need wing backs like Cancelo, Quota, Wendell. Well, we definitely need not. Oh, Mario, you're absolutely winding me up. We don't need Wendell. Like, we need somebody who plays his position maybe, but we don't need to
We
name
need
Wendell at the
fullbacks.
club.
Alexandro 2.0.
Yeah, only he's already at this stage of Alexandro rather than when we
Yeah,
signed him.
exactly. We wouldn't get the good part of Alexandro.
Yeah. Imagine Chiesa going to Roma. That Italian national team looks so bad, full of average players. Hanin is calling Norbert out, saying chill, it's Chiesa's career. Yeah, Norbert.
Yeah.
Leave Chiesa alone. I always want Chiesa to
Yeah,
stay in
fuck me
Italy.
that he didn't accept the bridge deal. That was still like probably higher than what Roma is offering him. Yeah, it's my fault. Fuck Chiesa.
This is so funny, Norbert.
Yeah,
Going, letting loose on kids. I never saw this coming.
You just bought
I
his
love Chiesa.
jersey, so weird.
Come on. Sure.
But yeah, let's move on to the funniest news so far.
My favorite
Cancelo.
news today, by the way.
Cancelo, linked to us by La Stampa, by Giovanni Albanese, saying that he's kind of offered himself to us, Inter. He wants to come back to Italy. He's willing to lower his wage significantly, and that there's a possibility that City is open to another loan deal, just to, kind of move on the quote unquote problem for them. When I saw that news, actually I didn't see the news, by the way. I woke up and I like 20 DMs on Twitter. I was like, what did I do?
Wow.
Like, I probably said something, and the first 10 were like the Danilo clip fighting with his fans, and the next 10 were the Cancelo links, and I was like, wow.
That's
like,
so funny.
you couldn't have it couldn't have been set up more perfectly for me. Basically, you have first Brazilian fans calling out Danilo for the scam he is. I don't know, that's the only way to put it. I think even Brazilian fans are like, nah, like, don't push this on us. Like, we're not having it. Only this fan base is like, yeah, gets the badge and it's all good. And Brazilian fans are like, screw you. Like, that's where, and he was fighting fans mid-game, by the way.
I saw that.
That was
unbelievable.
mid-game? I thought it was
No.
after.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know it was mid-game.
Oh my God.
That was between pens or or extra time. That was between extra time or pens or something. It was not at the end of the game.
Even there, wow.
Wow.
But
no wonder they
and then it was the Cancelo news, and this could be very and people hit the like button because we only have 40 likes. Let's get to at least 65 or 70. So hit that now. But the Cancelo news, like, people who know me, I'm probably Cancelo's biggest fan. I know we cannot defend, but I love the player. Even at the Euros, watching him play is just like, yeah. Like, that's why I would pay money to go to this. I know he's not a defender. I know we cannot defend. And I said a second ago, my defenders need to defend. I acknowledge that 100 times, that he cannot defend. You shouldn't play right back or left back or center back at times. I've seen him play in the back three. You shouldn't be doing that, period. That's extremely clear. That's a simple concept to understand. And I can be easily saying, oh my God, my dream is coming through. I want Cancelo back at the club. But I've said 1,000 times, I don't want old things back to the club. I want the club to move on, think outside of the box, and I will stick with that. If a player who played for us comes back, I will back it because he plays for us and I want to win, and I want everybody at the club to do well. So that's that. But I wouldn't say yes to it. Now, if it's a loan and he will have his wages, the club will be all over it. I'm kind of convinced that the club will be all over that Cancelo deal. If City is like, we will loan him out, and Cancelo's like, yeah, I'm earning 7, but let's do 3.5 or something, the club will probably be like, get your ass to the Continassa and have your medicals done. That just keep it moving. Um, so I'm not sure. It was actually funny, because I was just imagining the people who tweet out every single week, Danilo touches grass, we won the swap. They are probably punching air right
The
now.
debate. The
They,
debate.
you know what would be even more funnier if the club is like, by the way, Danilo, you can actually leave. If an offer comes in, that
Let's
would top it off.
exchange him.
That's
Uh,
actually,
Send him
uh,
to the void and get Cancelo.
yeah. And somebody saying, what about Cáceres for the fourth time? I like that killed me. Like every single
Oh,
time it killed me. I
He's
was
still
like,
playing?
is he?
I don't know
Did
where
he
he's
not
playing.
retire?
He might be playing for the under 20s or for us. Like for some reason, he'll probably still be at the club.
No, just keep
Um,
him for the Bucks.
but yeah, Norbert, what do you think? Cancelo 2.0. Would you entertain that?
Yeah. For me as well, we lost the swap, and Cancelo is the better player. If we debate that, Danilo is no. But yeah, this. I'm the same. Like, I don't want old players back. Only if it's like Motta really wants someone, or like the deal is really good. But as a general idea, I don't want him. Plus, also, I don't know. As far as I understand, what Motta plays, the fullbacks are actually fullbacks, and they need to defend a lot. And Cancelo cannot defend, so I don't understand this. Maybe Motta is changing something, because we didn't have any links with the actual fullbacks, only with wingbacks. Couto as well, or Couto. He's a wingback as well, and then Cancelo. So I don't understand. But yeah, I don't. I like Cancelo as a wingback in a three defense system, but yeah, I don't want him back. Um, and yeah, but if we can do it, let's exchange him with Danilo, because that would be the biggest joke, funniest stuff ever.
Oh, where do I start? Where do I start? Cancelo, when from his Valencia days, I loved him. When he joined Inter, I was heartbroken. But when we got him, and the fact Inter didn't get him, oh, I loved it. And from the moment I saw him in preseason in 2018, I was like, this guy is special. So when we swapped him for Danilo in the summer of 2019, my summer was ruined. And yeah, and just seeing him flourish at City and all that just made it hurt more. Um, so yeah, if there's a chance to get Cancelo back, and if he's able to half his wage for sure, I would personally fly him to Turin. Honestly, like in a heartbeat, I think I'd love it if he returns.
Where do you think he's
But
gonna play if we get him? Because like he will probably, like, you cannot ask him to defend. You can ask him, but we will know how it will look at times.
we'll see, because like the center back situation is different. Because like, who do we have that's gonna step into midfield? I don't know. Maybe that's gonna push Cancelo further forward if he joins. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, but I'd love to have him back regardless.
Do you believe the report? Does anyone really believe the report? Because it's
No,
La
I don't.
Stampa.
I genuinely, I don't believe the report, but it's fun to dream. So
Because it's La Stampa, and it's Giovanni Albanese kind of tapping it in afterwards. Does anyone, like, maybe did I miss a report? Maybe somebody else talked about it. I'm not so sure about it, but I just saw those two. Which again, usually news starts with a lower tier and then it kind of pops up, at the top, real concrete. Not usually the story is like very lengthy. It's very crazy options, and then the good source comes out and he kind of puts everything in place with two sentences. It's not 40, it's 20. That's what usually happens. But for now, it's just La Stampa, and it's Giovanni Albanese. So, but we know that Man City want to move him on. We know Barcelona, like,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to do that. So where does that leave him? We know that he never actually wanted to leave Juve at the time. He said it. He said that was just like, I was going City, so it's good. But at the time, he made it very clear that he didn't want that move. He never asked for that move. He wants to play for the club. He never wanted to leave Juve. So like all these things, like imagining him saying, "I want to come back, and actually I'm okay with leaving some money on the table." I wouldn't be surprised. That part of the story, I will believe that. Like I will easily believe that part of the story.
Yeah.
It's just, are City actually really open to let him go out on loan? And if they are trying to sell him, does anyone know what his contract is? Is it 27? Can somebody
No
look
idea.
that up really quickly, maybe? If City are like, no loan, we want to move him on, what do you think is a fair price? You know, keep in mind, do we, or like should we spend money on Cancelo on a permanent transfer? Is that the right move for the club to do? That's also the big
Well,
question. Like, is a
It's
loan?
if I can
2020.
choose between Di Lorenzo
Oh,
and him, you know.
Yeah, obviously.
yeah, okay, but like the Di Lorenzo one was ridiculous. But just in general, like two questions.
20
What,
mil. What
20
is
mil?
realistic? I don't know.
Should we spend that?
20
Like,
mil.
let's say 20 mil for 3 year, 3 year deal. Should the club make that move? Is that smart
We
to
don't
make that move?
have fullbacks. Like we have Cambiaso and that's it. I don't know.
He's Cambiaso's idol as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More of a
27.
reason to
Hanine
use him,
says.
you know?
So 27. So let's say it's about 20. Like
I think more than 20, unfortunately.
nobody's gonna pay that.
20 is
I think that's the issue
yeah.
right now. They kind of created that image around Cancelo that he's not that good of a player. Like that's the image people have an image of Cancelo where he's like, oh, some techie stuff here and there, but overall, nah, like old news basically. So I don't think the club should also entertain to sign him on a permanent for 3 years, and you'll probably be, I don't know, 31, 32. I think, you know, he was 20.
He's 30 now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's 13.
Is he 30?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Hanine
Yeah,
is
and
saying in the
Hanin
chat she's 30.
yeah.
She's 30. So yeah, like 33. I don't think we should be entertaining that, you know. And will it be a 2 year deal? Well, like I think the only way the club will entertain that if it's another loan deal. Then the club will probably go, yeah, we'll do it, you know. And then we will see what will happen next summer. But other than that, I don't think it's a real option. I don't think it will be a real option for the club. I don't think bringing Cancelo is a real option. It's fun. It's actually hilarious on so many levels. You couldn't imagine how funny it would be. But that's one of those deals also that's absolutely not a main priority for the club. Maybe the position, but I don't think the name is a main priority for a club. Where the club is like, okay, we need to get this done if it's out there. It doesn't feel like that, you know. So I don't know. Maybe for the Inter it will make more sense. They're selling players. Dumfries is out, or should be out.
In their system, makes more sense, yeah.
And does, yeah.
And he wants to come back, play for the Inter already in the past. Yeah, man.
I don't think they have money. Like
I don't know if like I'm not really following the Inter news. Like they signed Zelinski on a free. They're probably getting, who's that guy from Porto? I forgot his name. Striker.
the Iranian dude.
Yeah, it's Porto,
Yeah, I have
right?
no idea. Yeah. I have no idea what's his name, but yeah, I know.
I blanked it out now. He didn't sign, but
Taremi.
it's
Taremi.
Yeah. So they're gonna sign him apparently. So and Zelinski. Actually, their team were kind of like, they were sad as a team, to be honest. Like they don't have a big hole in that team, you know. So they probably don't need to do that much, if I'm being completely honest. But it would make more sense for Inter. I'm not gonna lie. It would make more sense for Inter. Like not the position, because we need the position, but just a profile. I think it would make more sense for Inter. So I don't even know what to do with the story, to be honest. We need to keep an eye, because too many times, me included, I read some news and I was like, funny, move it on. And then the next day it's actually real, confirmed by next like big sources. So we need to talk about it, obviously. But there are some issues with them. What about Kadioglu rumors? I've not seen a single rumor. I'm not gonna lie. The rumors
I
are coming
really
from
like
fans.
that dude.
Same. I think is excellent, but I haven't seen any
Yeah.
links whatsoever. So
No, and also
And he's actually can defend as
he
well.
can
yeah, and
defend.
Fenerbahce wants 35 million for him.
Yeah, we've not been
Yeah.
linked by a source, not once. Also,
No.
like he's a good player, but he also, and that was kind of his issue at times, you know, or like that was also the reporting that he gasses out really quickly. at times, But again, you can kind of deal with that. But he looked good, but you cannot sign a player off a tournament. If you sign a player, I've always said it, you need to have looked at him for a very long time, not just 3 games, because then it goes wrong, in my opinion. It goes wrong because international football is one thing. You need to see him at club level throughout 38 games rather than 4 or 5 off games, if you know what I mean. Like, it's different club football
Yeah, but it's
than
just
international
us,
football.
when a
So
club would sign him, they would look at him, like they would look at scout reports,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. It's not like, but yeah, I think none of the wingbacks are realistic. What we've been linked to,
So
Koto
far,
as well, Koto. I don't think it's realistic. Like, plus he's a wingback. He's not a fullback. I'm sorry, he can't defend. Like, he's a
no, he's
yeah. I don't
like,
know.
somebody needs to look up his highlights. Like, the entire highlights, nothing defending.
Highlights of a winger.
Sorry.
Highlights of a winger.
Yeah, and maybe I just clicked the wrong highlight, but I was like, I looked it up. I'm not gonna lie. After that, no, I paused it midway and I opened transfer market. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just not a defender, because he doesn't play like a defender. It was crazy,
I
those
love
highlights.
those kind of fullbacks though, but I don't think they're suitable for Monte's system. So
Somebody say Mourinho would not let him go. Let's be real. If an offer comes in, he's leaving Fenerbahce. He's not gonna play for Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce is a selling club. They can't keep players, so
Yeah, but if they can make step up in their career, they're gonna do it. These players.
yeah.
They're just gonna do it. Like, Mourinho knows which Mourinho's looking at McKennie and Kostic. He knows the situation where he stepped into. Like, he can be Mourinho, he can be Pep Guardiola. That's the situation at those clubs. So
Yeah.
I think he has absolutely no say in those things, to be honest. Um, yeah. No shot. He made a 50-year dash with the ball in the last minute of Austria game. Insane stamina. I'm not gonna talk about that because that's the one thing at the end. I get it, but look up his games around 60 minutes. He casts out. That has been an issue. Even, and I'm going back. And I know that because he played for the Dutch national team, by the way, in the past. Like, he played for that, and that was always the reporting. And till this day, that has kind of been the knock on him. That he goes 100% and he struggles to control momentums in the game. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. But that's always been the knock on him.
Chiesa
And
used to do that.
you can still make a run at the end of the game when the team is sitting back and defending. You can still do that. That's like, you can always pull something out. But throughout 90 minutes, that always has been a knock on him. And some players have that, but that's fine. I think McKennie has that, by the way. Towards the end,
Yeah.
you can see that he just needs to get subbed. He didn't get subbed at times last season, but at times you were like, okay, you just sub him off because the energy level just dropped insanely. Not, it's 90 minutes, lacks a big gone, just big drop off where it's like, wow, that's a bit weird, But people hit the like button again. Only 50 likes. We will see. We will see what will happen with fullbacks. I think the focus right now is just getting rid of a couple of players.
Yeah.
Setting up those Koopmeiners talks. I'm assuming, and it's not because the media doesn't have news putting out there, that it's nothing is happening. Basically, I don't think Giuntoli is sitting at home doing absolutely nothing right now and just waiting to make his first offer for Koopmeiners, because I think he already knows what Atalanta kind of wants. If the first offer is 40 million euros and the reporting is they want 70, and I'm like, you're doing a horrible job right here. Like, you're wasting time. That's just idiotic, if you know what I mean. Especially if you make that first offer in the second week of July. That's insane. If you're 20, 30 million off in the second week of July, you probably need to wrap it up and keep it moving, I think. So I'm assuming it's going to be closer to what Atalanta wants, and that will spark massive discussions among fans. If we offer something close to 50, social media is going, wow. Juve Twitter is going to go in an epic meltdown, me included, probably. 50 million. It's a lot of money, but that's the main target. So all the news about Cancelo and Todibo, even though Todibo should be, or like that position, um, should be a priority. It feels like it's all side notes for now. But again, let's see. Let's wait and see. I'm actually looking forward to actually preseason games. I know they're on weird hours. They're again not the big teams, I guess, but still, I'm looking forward to it. Probably nobody of the main guys is gonna be there for the first game or two, or play. But yeah,
It depends on them. It's not that if they decide to have 1 week off instead of like 2 or whatever, they can be there. Depends. We will see who actually wants to stay or who actually wants to impress Motta.
I'm not gonna lie. Even if I wanted to press Mota after the 3 years at the club, the last 3 years, I would take my 2 weeks. I'm just gonna be serious. Even though I wanted to impress, and probably being an Italian playing at the Euros as well, I would be like, yeah, I need those 2 weeks just for my mental health, because that was just ridiculous what I've witnessed and been part of the last 3 years or 2 years, 1 year being Cambiasso.
I have a bold prediction. I think Yildiz will be at training next week.
Oh no,
Because he wants.
Nah, next
I
week.
told you it's bold.
That's
Yeah.
That's way too soon.
I hope not. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I hope not. I hope he takes some time off. I really do.
Yeah, maybe even they told them, you need to rest. You had a long season. Yeah, maybe Juve told
It's
them
it's
to
been a
take 2 weeks.
a long season. It's been a season of a lot of changes for him.
Yeah,
Because people are comparing him with Güler. Güler played for Fenerbahce. Like, he played first team football at a consistent level. For Yildiz, it's all new. Just popped up, then you got benched, out of nowhere, kind of again, for Chiesa, who the club is now selling. And then now the Euros, you get kind of thrown into it as well, because he's not. People need to keep in mind, he's not the main starter at Juve. Nor was Güler.
Yeah.
I get it, but he had that past like he did that in the past. With Yildiz, it's kind of all new. I think he needs a time off, just to.
bold prediction. He will not.
Because looking at the squad, he's gonna play. Like, looking how it's all set up right now, he's just gonna play a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think he needs that. I think he needs that something off. Isn't in Italy the rule that you have at least around 20 days off? Around that, yeah. But again, if the guys at the Euros and Coppa, a lot of them don't always take 20 days, 21 days. Most of them just
Depends on
come
the
back.
player.
I
Yeah.
agree. Like, if you're a main guy, I think just responsibility wise, you're like, I'm not rocking up in training 5 days before the season kicks off, because fitness wise, I'm screwed. I cannot play. Like, even if the coach plays me, I'm putting the team in trouble right there. So let's see. I'm expecting Danilo to be back next Monday. No chance. No
Danilo?
chance. He's a captain.
That's
He should
your-
be back. No, he's not coming back. I'm not expecting those guys to be back that soon.
On Instagram, he will be back.
Yeah, Capitan.
Oh, I need to check. Did he post something?
I don't think so.
We're
I
gonna
didn't
witness.
see.
We're gonna witness this live, Norbert.
I didn't check.
No. I don't think he has a. If this was a loss, if we got kicked out of the quarterfinals in the Champions League, he would have put something out, and Juve fans will be like, "Oh, captain, blah blah blah." I think after yesterday,
Alisha
it's like, no,
Posted.
yeah, that's something I really don't care about. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Oh my god, I saw.
She was
yesterday-
$50,000 or euros or whatever. 50,000 euros for a woman player, women's team player.
Who actually,
Crazy.
by the way, and I don't watch women football, apparently is not that good. Period.
But she was injured as well. That's as far as I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Again, I don't watch women football, so some might be excited, which is good. If
yeah,
you
but it's a
follow
unique
it.
story.
Yeah, it's
that,
a very.
we signed them.
Yeah. We signed a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, good for them, I guess. But I don't follow women's football, so I cannot be
Yeah, me
excited.
neither. I'm
I
not gonna
cannot
lie.
tweet about it like
Yeah,
all day. I was like, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Good,
same,
I'm
same.
assuming.
it
Let's keep it
needs
moving.
like 20 years, I think, to be good. But maybe even more.
I have no idea. I don't. I watched probably 2 or 3 women's games, and 2 of them were at the stadium. Not that I was there live, but it was it was on Juve TV, so you could watch it, and I just had it
Much
on.
like World Cup,
I don't. I
final or
try.
something.
I really tried at times, and like the pace is very slow. It's very slow
Yeah,
pace. It's and it's too much football. Like actually watching the Euros men's football at times, I'm like, ugh, it's too much. And next season, it's gonna be worse next season. By the way, it's even more games, and I
You
think
have the
people are.
Club World Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. Like the quality of play in that tournament is gonna be absolutely rubbish. It must be, or it's gonna be total chaos where teams are just gone, legs gone, and it's just whatever. Just go out there and figure it out type of vibe. Or it's gonna be extremely poor in quality because players are not really interested and just it's too much games as well. The quality will just
yeah.
go down by default. It is what it is, I guess. But we will see. We will see. People, we're gonna wrap this one up. It's been an hour. It's been a good one. The only downside is I only have 50 likes, so let's get to at least 70 before we head out. Because I'll try to be back tomorrow with a live show or a call-in show. I need to still plan the week ahead, but it's gonna be a call-in show this week. And let's see. What's gonna happen tomorrow. Starting from tomorrow, will we have an official offer for Koopmeiners? Will we have here we go Turam? We can move on from that one completely. Will there be a new shocking link tomorrow morning? Who knows? It's silly season now. It's actually silly season now. All the links will come out, And Julian is keeping up with a list. He was on 30 2 weeks ago, probably on 40 now. Probably will be around 65 at the end of the month. I'm assuming. So let's see. Norbert, Malik, thanks for sharing the joy, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially for Malik with Cancelo news.
Oh,
And the
so
pain
much.
or the frustration for Norbert with the Chiesa news. So we had that already. But yeah, people, hit the like button, and I'll speak to you guys very, very